Welcome, and nice to have you with us on Mansfield today on our Leisure Sunday, where we take things a little bit easier. Melanie Walker is our garden expert. Morning, Mel.
How are you doing?
Cold. It's been a cold week, eh?
It's been really awful.
Yeah.
And it's certainly not a time that you want to be outside really doing very much at all. Unless you're exercising, but I'm sure that we don't do that.
No, we don't.
No, we'd rather... It's a duvet week, okay? You're
Yeah.
allowed to have them. You don't have to get up and do all these things all the time, frankly. I mean, people used to think that I was like an exercise fanatic. Trust me, no. I do not run. I am a walker.
Okay.
And a green goddess.
Mel, as you say, people don't, this is not, especially with weather like we've had this week, this is not the time that people want to get into the garden.
No.
Is there anything that has to be really done at this time?
It's mainly maintenance at this time. I mean, you may have a zest, like wanting to put colour into your garden, because that is a problem in a lot of places in the country. And we're not talking just about Johannesburg, because Johannesburg is, at this time of the year, very dry, very dusty, very grey, not very green at all. And people want to have a bit of colour.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that, they'll all be speaking about putting in, and even Sam's been saying, what can I put in my garden that will give me colour? Okay. It's a no-brainer, the 4 Ps. Poppies, primulas, pansies, and petunias, along with violas, little gesiggies and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
So they're all very, very nice. And of course, you can eat the violas, which I do. I walk into garden centres and pass the trays and eat all the flowers, and people look at me as if I'm completely mad.
Yeah, not that well.
No, but those are the ones that you can put in. Apart from that, I mean, if you want colour, you can do that. Personally, I just went and painted my walls, so I'll always have colour. Then I don't have to go and plant out annuals. I mean, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm definitely not an annual fan. I do love them as flowers, but I don't actually plant them. Okay, I like perennials. So my garden is very much one of those gardens that it has to live without me looking after it. But at this time of the year, it's making sure that you've done the last feeding. It's raking up leaves and not throwing them in the bin. Okay, do not throw your leaves in the bin, for goodness sake. Take them, put them into a bag, or put them back into the beds and create that nice little blanket of mulch, which will help with your water retention and also with pests and diseases, and it just keeps the temperature in as well. So apart from that, making sure that all your tools are up to speed, go and sharpen your spades and your secateurs. And then frankly, when it's warm, do go outside and lie down. Okay? Enjoy the vitamin D, especially if you're in Johannesburg. If it's pouring with rain in Cape Town, I wouldn't advise it. Okay, but it is one of those things. Vitamin D is so fantastic for you. If you're prone to depression, getting out in the garden is the best way to go to actually boost your antibodies against seasonal affective disorder or being sad.
Seasonal affect. Where do you get this from?
I'm very clever, Jeremy. I read a lot. But it is one of those times the garden needs to rest. You need to rest. You need to, once again, get outside rather than... We do. We sit inside our houses where we think, it's nice and warm here, but then we've got heaters on. It's drying out the air. We have fantastic sunshine in many parts of the country during wintertime. Use it.
Yeah, I'm finding that already, and this usually only happens a lot later in winter. You may hear it. I'm starting to get a little bit nasal, and it's drying up, and it's precisely because of what you're doing. We're staying inside, you're putting on heating or heaters, and you're not getting into the garden and enjoying the fresh air and enjoying what's happening around you. And
the birds.
Sitting with a book and looking at the birds that are in your garden, looking at the little chojos that are around.
And that's one thing. Don't forget about the birds. At this time of the year, there isn't a lot for them to eat.
Yeah.
Make sure there's water. And for bees that might be floating around in the air, there still will be. They're not very busy at this time of the year. But put some water out, put some food out for them, some seed, nectar, whatever. Get some. You can also plant aloes. I mean, goodness me, how amazing are the aloes looking at the moment. I'm just sad I'm not driving down through the Eastern Cape because, the show of aloes there
is
this
beautiful.
time of the year is amazing.
Yeah. I've got a friend who's got an incredibly water-friendly garden, and he loves his garden. And it is probably, I'd say Mark's garden is probably around about 80% aloes.
Yeah.
Because he just loves aloes.
Well, there's so many amazing varieties now as well.
And he breaks little pieces off and he plants them in little trays and then replants them in the garden.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
And it's a beautiful garden to look at.
And talking about watering, don't forget we still do have water restrictions.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are going to water, please do it early in the morning, especially when it's cold, because otherwise the plants might not be able to use up all the water during the day, and then they're sitting with wet feet at night and it could get very icy. And when it comes to having a kikuyu lawn, please stop watering it. Okay, set your systems up so that you're not spraying water all over the place. Your kikuyu grass goes dormant in winter. Stop trying to make it green. It needs to rest. Yeah. That's what it is.
And so do we.
I do.
Yeah, so on that note, we're going to say thank you, Mel.
Thank you, Jim.
For coming in. Nice to see you again. Oh, just as I say my nose is going all dry, it starts to get a bit runny. Sorry about that. We'll catch you once again next week, Mel.
Indeed you shall.
Good one. And we'll catch you tomorrow. The show tomorrow, of course, being Monday, will be joined by Chris Gibbons, who will be taking a look at the business world. Until then, bye-bye.
There's so much you can show me. Move on to the sun.